Welcome back! We have cleverly evaded the sequel police and have found ourselves back in possession of a time pod. However, where else can we go? Well, the hint book...
An SQ.
Oh, actually want to read it. The hint book intimated that we could go to Yulin's Flats, in one of the only actually useful hints in the entire hint book. And it gives you the coordinates, but unfortunately it only gives you the first half of those coordinates. So, how can we figure out the other half? Well, we've already seen half of a time code somewhere else, of course. Namely, on the gum wrapper that we got from the dead sequel policeman in the bird's nest. Back on, well, I suppose that was Astros. I'm not entirely sure. So, apparently with that code we should be able to return to Yulin's Flats from Space Quest 1, which you may have been able to see coming, if you remember in the VGA remake, which was actually released after Space Quest 4. You actually could see the time pod show up after Roger left Yulin's Flats. Okay, well let's try that code out, not using the hint thing. Make sure you write this code down, by the way, because we will need to go back. Let's see. Oh, this one. That one. This is inverse E. I think it's that one. That one. And that one. Good. Let's see if that works. When this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally...
Great Scott! We're back in EGA. Yes, apparently while they had time to put the time pod into the VGA remake, they didn't have time to put the VGA remake into Space Quest 4. So we got the original EGA version, making Roger look really out of place.
Memories race through your mind. You know you've seen this place in your distant past. The low-resolution features look exactly like a place you once visited called Yulin's Flats.
I like the implication that the universe was actually in low resolution back then. The strange whistling sound that's also in the VGA version is still here. I think that maybe is the force field generators or something.
It's a Walmart force field generation unit.
Even the text boxes look old-fashioned now.
You give the time pod a long glance. It resembles...
I think actually from the manual, although I'm not entirely sure about that, the time pod was made by SUX. Just like one of the droids from Droids Be Us, who are in fact this building, if I'm not mistaken.
This closely resembles the left side of Droids Be Us.
Possibly caused by the fact that it is Droids Be Us. Let's save. Oh, and I ran out of save slots again. That's such an annoying thing. Whenever that happens. Well, anyway. This is Space Quest 1. Ah, yes. Because I'm sure those force field generators are just as lethal now as they were back then.
Ouch! Aw, cripes! I hate it when that happens!
Then why do you keep doing it?
Aw, cripes!
I think that's enough of that. I don't really need to kill myself. To the left of here should actually be where our original spacecraft was. Actually, on the VGA remake, this is about where you see the time pod appear, rather than the screen on the right.
In the distance you see sand dunes and sky. Looks like ordinary sand to me, Roger.
Indeed. And it's Tiny! Tiny's not at home, apparently. And it seems that even in the original version of Space Quest, you could buy that ship that burrows into the ground. I don't think I ever got this far in the original Space Quest 1.
At the bottom of this excavation is a small craft almost totally buried in dirt. You remember barely making it back out when the engine died. This must be the Yugo of spaceships. You wonder why anyone would bother to lock it.
I wonder why the text said Volkswagen and he said Yugo. Anyway.
You've obviously found the location of Tiny's used spaceships. Lucky you. This building is quite small. Maybe this is why it's called Tiny's.
Better than the alternative.
In the distance you see sand. Far away you see a few force field generators.
Trying to look at the flags, but apparently I can't.
This is the tail of a ship parked for business at the Ulenz Flats Bar.
Or the Rocket Bar, as it's also known. And it seems it's still here.
This long-legged beauty stands silently, waiting for its jet-faced owner to return. It looks like it came from the planet of the Warts. This ship must be the Plantar's deluxe model, with authentic mosaic upholstery. The sign suggests that this place might be a bar.
Very observant.
The sign
These bikes look a bit weird.
As you check out the sand bikes, you wonder what kind of cheeseball would own one.
Indeed. They also seem to be in higher resolution than the rest of the place, except they're monochrome rather than color. Which is a bit weird. Well, before we go inside, let's look around a little bit more. The back of the bar.
You don't know what it says, but you're sure it's not flattering.
Now, if I recall correctly, like I said, I never actually got this far in, or I don't think I got this far in the original, but I remember reading about somewhere that in the original version of Space Quest, you could actually read the sign, and Roger was able to read what it said. Of course, in the VGA remake, we couldn't even look at it. The game wouldn't let us. This is, of course, the place where the Slot So Deaf machine came out.
This must be the back of the bar. Some fading graffiti adorns the wall. You see the Droids Be Us store in the distance.
Interesting that they had to change the Radio Shock thing, and yet Droids Be Us is still in there. But they're closed, so we can't buy any more droids.
The sign indicates that this establishment is not open for business. For all of your droid-related needs, see us when we're open.
Which is apparently not now.
The poor taste of the building is only matched by the poor taste of the architect.
One may have something to do with the other.
In the distance you see...
Okay, that's apparently the same on every screen, and that's everything there is to see here. Except, of course, inside the bar. Which we'll check out in the next video.